Continues, the fun show does continue right in your national broadcaster. Of course, I've got about not all of them, but a few youth that went to the United States of America. That's for the Young African Leaders Initiative. They're here in the studio, of course, and I will definitely like to welcome you guys, and let's say good afternoon to you guys. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great.
Good.
Good afternoon. I'm also doing really great.
All right.
Hi. Can you tell they're all very excited to be back in Namibia?
All right, guys, so just introduce yourselves to the listeners. I'm quite convinced that they want to find out who you are.
Yes. My name is Paskaline Ngunaihe. I'm a co-founder of a young women's organization called YALI Network.
I'm Tomas Kalimbo. I'm a school principal in the north in South Africa.
My name is Priscilla Hernandez. I am the Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy.
Great stuff. All right, maybe let me just kickstart with you. Can you just tell us how did this program came about? I mean, when did it start and all that?
Okay. President Obama started the program in 2010, and every year we sent one or two people from Namibia. This year he decided let's send a whole group of people from the continent. 9 people from Namibia were selected out of 600 applications. And total across the continent, 500 people went, and almost 50,000 applied.
Don't say. All right, so tell me, what was the selection process? I mean, what were the correct criteria you were looking at in terms of, getting the 9 that made it through?
Okay, so number one, they had to already be a leader, not wanting to become a leader. They had to have already done something in their lives, in their communities, started a business, did something that showed they were a leader. Typically, they had to be very active on social media, which meant they had a very, very broad, expanded network.
Okay.
And they had to be self-identified leaders, not just for their own personal growth, but they had to do something for somebody else. So volunteerism was a big thing that we were looking for.
Okay. Guys, tell me, how did you hear, when was the first time you heard about this program?
Yeah, thank you. As of myself, I heard about the program from one of our local newspaper, that is the Namibian newspaper. I saw it advertised there, and then I followed the website that was put on there, just followed the instruction, and I applied. It was online.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, as for me, I heard it from an employee of the U.S. Embassy, I think. It was right about the closing dates, and she forwarded me all the application forms, and yeah, I applied.
You applied. So what made you want to pay an interest in this specific program?
Basically, last year I just completed a program called African Leadership in ICT. It was funded by the African Union, and when I saw this program, I really thought this would be a boost to what leadership skills that I just gained from the recent program that I completed. And then I also decided to apply because I wanted to improve and enhance my leadership skills. And I specifically chose the public management track because there were 3 tracks that applicants had to choose from. And I chose the public management simply because being a school principal at a public school, that makes me a public manager.
Yeah. All right.
Well, for me, I think the criteria matched my criteria also very well. In the sense of the whole age, what you do, because I've done a lot of volunteerism, and it's something that has really, really helped me get to this point. Right. And everybody probably thinks that people like us don't really qualify, but it took a lot for us to be here. And for me, being part of this program really meant a lot because it shaped my leadership skills. It shaped everything that I actually has been working on here in Namibia, within the youth organizations that I've been involved with.
Great. Now, you guys recently just came back. You traveled to the States and you're back now. Tell us about the trip and, what did you gain out of this program and all that?
Well, the whole trip was pretty amazing. It wasn't actually my first time to travel abroad, but it was my first time to travel to the U.S. So it was really amazing. The program itself at the university where I was stationed, that is Syracuse University, at the Maxwell School of Public Citizenship and Public Affairs, I got an opportunity to learn from not only the professors who were giving us lectures on various topics across public management, but I got an opportunity to learn a lot from fellow young African leaders, because we had fellows from 19 different African countries. So it gave us an opportunity to really interact with one another and form networks that will, I hope, will continue to grow.
All right.
Well, for me, unlike him, it was my first time to the US and abroad that far. So I think the experience was quite unique, very new, very exciting, and very enriching. In the sense that I was based at Rutgers University, that's in New Jersey, and everything there was so structured. We learned, I was in the civic leadership track, so we had a lot of NGO-based learnings that were going on there. So we learned a lot. So basically, let's say in areas of community development, anything to do with the people, that's what we learned. So.
Great. All right. Now, one would say that definitely, obviously, this program was a success, and you guys did learn a thing or two and picked some new skills that you didn't have. So I wanted to find out, now that you're back, are you going to, will you guys be sharing these skills with fellow young Namibians as well?
Yeah, for me, definitely. Because one thing I know for sure was us being selected was not for us in itself. It was for us to go there and collect as much as possible, collect information that are relevant to the tracks that we're going for, and information that is relevant to the youth, to the nation as a whole. So basically, I would say it was a very successful trip in the sense of we collected information from the vast network that we're placed in. So basically, we can say that we have a lot of networks, a lot of information sources that we can tap into to see what we can do to bring back what we learned.
Great.
Yeah, just to add on what Paskaline have said, for sure, it's one of the requirements of the program that once we are back, we share our experiences and what we have learned there with our fellow young leaders, and especially those who applied and didn't make it. So we continue to share our experiences and everything that we learned there, so that we also encourage them and motivate them to apply, because it's an ongoing program for 3 years, I understand. So they should just watch out in the media. Next year again, the program will continue. 500 young leaders from across Africa are expected to travel to the US.
Great. Let me just get back to you. This program has been in existence for how long?
Since 2010.
Since 2010. And it has been happening. I mean, like, are we talking about, what I'm talking about, like, specifically Namibia has been involved since 2010 as well?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you probably have about 4 or 5 alumni of the program. So once somebody goes on a U.S. program like this, when they come back, they become what we call alumni, which means they stay involved in programs and do a lot of things.
Okay.
But in the past, it was always 1 or 2 people per year. This is the first time we've had a group.
Yeah.
And the idea, hopefully, is that they will travel around the country and hold town hall meetings and listen to young people about, you know, what are some of your challenges and how can we connect you to the network. And this is just the young African leaders. We also, as you know, have the African leaders of the countries currently meeting with our leaders in the United States for the U.S. Africa Leaders Summit.
Great.
So we started with the young African leaders, and now we have the heads of state all convening. So it's all part of a longer-term strategy to really do a lot more for trade and investment, economic growth, youth entrepreneurship, public management, anything we can do to help African countries come up with their own solutions.
So next year, it's another year, it's a different group going and all that. I wanted to find out what happens to them. Do they still stay in the program, and do you guys have, like, you know, do you follow with what they're doing?
Well, every country will decide to do it differently. In some countries, they will encourage, the government might encourage the young leaders to get involved in some of their government programs. There may be some internship opportunities available. For the group of 9 here, they will get to access some small grant funding, for example, ideas that young Namibian leaders tell them they want them to do. So it depends. They all stay engaged, as I said, as alumni. So they will probably help us choose the next group. And we anticipate maybe October we'll be having this conversation, and we'll come see you and see if we can't get more people to apply.
That will be great. All right, let me just finally get some final remarks from you guys. I mean, in terms of leadership, leadership skills among among young Namibians, do you think it's something we lack amongst the youth in general?
Well, I don't think I think everybody is a leader. Personally, I believe everybody can be a leader. It's just something that needs to be pushed, that needs to be developed, that needs to be encouraged. So personally, I think as Namibians, we can be leaders. So I think the youth has great potential here in Namibia and can be leaders. And as people that has been involved in leadership programs, I'm sure we as a network can help them become the leaders that they want to be. So I think it can be encouraged.
Okay. Yeah, like what she said, leadership is not really what we lack here in Namibia, but then from my personal point of view, we need a paradigm shift. We need a new kinds of leaders who are able to make things happen, and not only wait for the government to do this and that. We must stand up on our own, initiate programs that are advancing our communities.
Great. All right. To those that would like to get in touch with you, maybe also get some more information pertaining this, where do you guys have a website, contact details as well?
Well, at this point, I don't think we have a contact point for us as the YALI alumni, but I would say they can get hold of the U.S. Embassy and they can link us with everybody here.
Great.
Depending on what areas of interest they have. I'm sure the U.S. Embassy here can tell them more.
I think we definitely encourage them to go to our Facebook page, U.S. Embassy Namibia, Windhoek, and friend us, because that's where we post all of the scholarship information, all the information about educational and cultural exchanges. They can come to the American Center at the Sandland Building, 3rd floor. That's how many people found out about YALI, and how they stayed connected was through Facebook.
Great. Well, guys, so thank you so much, for coming through, and all the best of luck with all your future plans. And let's hope that this program will definitely help you get you where you want to be in the near future.
Thank you, Lomo. Thank you to the listeners.
And as for the U.S. Embassy, you guys are doing a great job, so continue doing that.